Good afternoon. Jordan Glenn here with Hunt Horner Outdoors. I just have a quick product I want to demonstrate. Lou feeders. They're up and coming in the outdoor industry. They've been on the market for probably several years now, and they have several items that's coming out here recently and this year for the 2015 season. A smaller feeder from this one and a new locking mechanism. You can see my primitive one down here is just something to deter criminals. This chain did the job, but we got something new and better for this season. Now, I've actually had this feeder for probably 6 to 8 months now. As you can see here, the squirrel guard I just added this morning is just meant to deter little critters from chewing away at your feeder here. You can see the damage this came this season all around through here. Putting a little bit of damage, nothing bad, still doesn't hurt the performance. Now with the larger size Lou feeder, it holds over 100 pounds of corn, so you don't have to come out here every day to fill it up, which is a convenience if you have a full-time job like myself. Now, one of the neat things about these Lou animal feeders is that the feeding trough down there on the bottom is perforated, meaning it's got holes in it. With these drainage holes right here, they're meant to keep the water and the moisture out from sitting there and ruining whatever corn, what have you, whatever you have inside the feeder. I actually let the feeder get empty so it'd be easier to move around and operate while we sit here and change out the chain and add the locking mechanism, just because it'd be easier to move around an empty feeder versus a 120-pound feeder. Now let's check out the smaller version of the feeder and also the locking mechanism. Now, as you can see here, this is the new line of products for the 2015 season from Lou Feeders. You have here the new and improved smaller version of the big feeder, as you can see behind me. This one also has the squirrel guard already added. You have the locking mechanism on top of it to where you can deter any kind of criminals. You just take this, slides on the back of any Lou feeder. You use the screws there to go straight into the tree. You also have the 1/2-inch carriage bolt with a hole drilled into it so you can go ahead and add your lock. Now with this locking mechanism, you can go ahead and add it to any Lou feeder, and you can actually use the locking mechanism without any straps. And I've actually seen 200, 250-pound men standing on the feeder with no straps, just the locking mechanism itself. And that supported both them and the feeder. Now, as I mentioned previously with my primitive version in the background with that large 1/2-inch chain, you can use this locking mechanism, which works 10 times better in my opinion, and you don't have to use a big lock or that big heavy chain. And you can just use this simple device here on any Lou feeder like I've added. Let me show you just how easy this is to install. Couldn't get much simpler than that. Now on these pre-existing models, you have to drill out the back right here to a 1/2 inch so you can be able to put the carriage bolt through there. Now we actually had to use the original straps from the original system because mine was so old. We're going to just sit here and just simply thread this through the locking mechanism out the other side so we can add our lock back. You can actually use it with or without the ratchet straps. That's a good thing about it. And done. As you've seen here this afternoon, it's just that simple. One man on an empty feeder, probably 10-15 minutes. Be sure to tune in to Horn Hunter Outdoors for more and exciting adventures here to come.